Good afternoon. I'm Keith Kuntz with some breaking news, not just here in Connecticut, but up and down the East Coast this afternoon. We have a 5.9 magnitude earthquake that was centered northwest of Richmond, Virginia. This quake hit at about 1:54 this afternoon. There are reports of shaking for about 20 seconds or so. I'm sure a lot of you in our viewing area probably felt this earlier, about a half hour ago. Here in New Haven and around Connecticut, we are getting reports. I can tell you firsthand, there have been a number of buildings that have been evacuated in the downtown New Haven area. We have word that New Haven Police Headquarters was evacuated as a precaution for a time. The New Haven Open, the big tennis tournament going on at Yale, was evacuated, the stadium there. There are a number of evacuations going on because of this earthquake that was centered down in Richmond, Virginia. Want to go live now on the phone to Lieutenant Paul Vance, Connecticut State Police. Paul, what do you know right now about evacuations here in Connecticut, and are there any word of any injuries here?
Well, Keith, so far there's been no report of damage or injury here in Connecticut. Just to reassure everyone, we do have trooper spread statewide, fully across the state. We are fully operational, and the governor has activated the Emergency Operations Center. There are personnel up there, certainly just to ensure, almost in a preventive measure here, to ensure that there are no injuries and no damage. Our 911 calls we've been flooded with 911 calls at the barracks, especially in the greater New Haven area and the greater Hartford area. Again, we want to reassure people that we have no reports of damage in Connecticut, no related issues. The incident that occurred, obviously, we believe is associated with what occurred down in Virginia, North Carolina, Washington, D.C. area.
What can you do from a statewide level to make people feel a little more calm, a little more comfortable? Obviously, in a situation like this, if somebody is chased out of a high-rise building, they're going to be very, very tense about what's going on. What can you do to reassure the public?
Well, we can tell you that, again, we have no interruptions in any public safety or any emergency services here in our state. We are fully operational. We're fully in communication with everyone. As I said, the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection staff are at the Emergency Operations Center speaking to area coordinators just to double-check and ensure that there are no issues in Connecticut. And as we speak right now, there are definitely no injuries and no issues that have occurred in our state whatsoever, except the tremors that were felt.
How about power outages? Do we know anything about the power? Have there been any power concerns locally?
I have no indication that there's even any power concerns here in our state. Again, we're partnering with all the way up and down the East Coast, and we're going to double check what's going on further south, and certainly take into consideration if there's anything that needs to be done here in Connecticut, and if there is, we'll get that right out to the people of the state of Connecticut. But as of right now, we're in pretty good shape.
Lieutenant Vance, you said you got a lot of phone calls, a lot of 911 calls. What was the general tone of most of those phone calls?
Well, people are concerned as to what may or may not have been happening, and they were questioning to see if, in fact, we could determine or explain to them where the shaking or these tremors originated from or what occurred. And very quickly after they did occur down, down in the southern part of the country, we were able to determine fairly quickly that we believe them to be related to the incident that occurred down south. And
again, the major cities as a rule where the phone calls coming in from, New Haven, Hartford, I would imagine lower in the state like Stamford, Bridgeport as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Lieutenant Paul Vance, we appreciate it. Connecticut State Police live on our phone line.